Chosen one, time itself holds its breath. Heaven has paused not for the masses, but for you. You did not stumble here by accident. You were summoned. Everything that tried to break you, delay you, silence you, was only proof that you carry something hell cannot destroy. Now the heavens interrupt your timeline to say this. This is the last time God will say it this way. You have felt it, haven't you? The strange weight on your heart, the unease that visits even when everything seems fine, the silent voice in the night saying, "There's more." You've sensed that you were not meant to blend in with ordinary crowds. And you were right. You are marked. You are called. You are chosen to carry revelation in a generation that mocks the sacred. This is no coincidence. Heaven moves with precision. When divine timing and human obedience meet, destinies are born. And right now, God is whispering across eternity, reaching for your attention one last time before the silence comes. There is a shaking happening in your spirit. You can feel it. The same pain that almost crushed you is now turning into a prophetic push. Every delay, every rejection, every betrayal, it wasn't punishment. It was preparation. You were never being buried. You were being planted. You've been hidden, but only so that you could grow roots deep enough to hold the weight of the glory that's coming. Listen closely. Chosen one. Heaven is not issuing another suggestion, it is declaring a command. The gentle warnings are ending. The whispers are turning into thunder. You've asked for signs, and here it is, this moment, this voice, this word. God is calling you out of the comfort of compromise and into the fire of purpose. You are not who you used to be. The pain you've endured has changed your DNA in the spirit. You are stronger, sharper, wiser, and that's why this word finds you now. Heaven is saying, I've waited for this moment. I've watched you survive storms that others drowned in. Now rise, as spoken in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, verse 11. As surely as I live, declares the sovereign Lord, I take no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but rather that they turn from their ways and live. Turn from your evil ways. Why will you die? Yes, this is the cry of mercy before the silence. The Father does not want your destruction. He wants your return. But time is running short. You cannot keep postponing obedience and expect the door to remain open forever. There comes a moment when the same mercy that covered you begins to move away. That moment is closer than you think. So rise. Do not scroll away. Do not harden your heart. Heaven is giving you one last invitation to come back, to realign, to surrender. Every delay you've known will break the moment you say yes. Every chain that has followed your family line will snap when you take your rightful position. You've been asking, God, are you still speaking to me? He answers now, yes. And this is the last time I will say it this gently. What happens next depends on what you do now. The world is loud, but truth is still clear. You are not too late, but you are close. Heaven's window does not stay open forever. There is grace for you right now, pure, undeserved, miraculous grace. Take it. Don't reason with it. Don't debate it. Just obey. Lift your eyes. The time for wandering ends here. Angels are taking their positions. The clock of destiny is ticking louder. You stand at the border between what was and what can be. One more step of faith, and everything changes. If this word burns inside you, that's not emotion, it's confirmation. The Spirit is bearing witness that this message is for you. Respond. Move. Don't hide behind fear. Heaven has already chosen you. Now you must choose heaven. Like, share, and subscribe so this word reaches every other chosen one who is asleep, but must awaken now. Let the world know that you hear the call. Comment your prophetic number below 77 as a sign that you are answering heaven's final invitation. You stand at the threshold, heart pounding with holy fire. The world around you may not understand, but heaven does. You are stepping out of the crowd and into divine clarity. Every shadow that mocked your calling is fading now. The light of truth wraps around you like armor. You are no longer waiting for permission. God already gave it. Lift your hands. Even if no one sees, whisper, even if your voice shakes. Say, "Yes, Lord, I'm ready." The moment you do, heaven records it. The unseen begins to move in your favor. Grace rushes toward you like a flood that refuses to be stopped. This is your confirmation. The silence breaks. The final call has reached you, and this time you answer. The air is still heavy after heaven's call. You feel it lingering like the echo of thunder after lightning tears through the sky. Everything around you seems quieter now, but inside, something is stirring. This is what it feels like when eternity brushes against time. You are aware of every heartbeat, every breath. You can almost sense eyes upon you, divine eyes, patient yet piercing, watching to see how you will respond. You may think, why me? That question has haunted you through seasons of silence and struggle. Why would God choose someone like you, flawed, inconsistent, tired? Yet that is the mystery of divine selection. Heaven does not choose the perfect. It perfects the chosen. The cracks in your life are not evidence of failure. They are the places where light escapes. God does not need polished vessels. He needs willing ones. The whisper you hear now isn't born from guilt, it's born from grace. Conviction is not condemnation, it's an invitation to come home. When your spirit trembles at truth, it means God is near. He is not pushing you away, He is pulling you closer. That's why the shaking is happening inside of you right now. You are being realigned with your original design, the version of you that heaven recognizes. You remember moments when you almost lost faith, nights when the world felt like a storm and your prayers bounced off the ceiling. In those moments, heaven wasn't silent. It was watching you grow roots. Every unanswered prayer, every delay was shaping endurance in you. Strength isn't built in comfort, it's forged in the waiting. You were not being ignored, you were being stretched. The storms that broke others couldn't break you because your spirit carries a blueprint of resilience. You didn't know it, but angels were assigned to you. They held you when despair tried to drown your hope. You are alive right now because heaven refused to let hell have you. That's not coincidence, it's evidence of covenant. Think about every season where you questioned your worth. Remember how people misunderstood your heart, how betrayal tried to poison your belief in goodness. Yet somehow, even with the wounds, you kept believing in something higher. That was God's fingerprint on your soul. He never allowed the bitterness to consume you because you were never meant to live small. There's a divine restlessness in you, a sense that you were created for something more than routine survival. You felt it since childhood, that quiet knowing that you were different. You tried to bury it beneath responsibilities, noise, and distractions. But it never died. Because calling doesn't disappear, it waits, and now it's knocking again, King. It was written long ago in the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 5. Now if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all nations you will be my treasured possession. Those words were not just for a nation, they are for every soul that still dares to say yes. Heaven has treasures, but you are its rarest one. God calls you his possession not to control you, but to claim what already bears his image. The weight of purpose you feel is not a burden, it's belonging. There is something sacred about the in-between moments, the spaces where you're not yet who you used to be, but not yet who you will become. You're in the process of divine transformation, and process always looks like pressure before it looks like purpose. Diamonds form in darkness. Oil flows only after crushing. Glory always follows groaning. Right now, heaven is not waiting for you to be fearless. It's waiting for you to be honest. To admit that you are tired but still willing. To say, God, I don't understand, but I'm here. That confession unlocks what years of striving never could. The shaking around you isn't punishment, it's proof that God is building something unshakable within you. He's dismantling everything false so truth can stand. You may lose people, opportunities, or comfort, but what remains after the shaking will be pure, unbreakable faith. You are standing at the threshold of awakening. The old you is dissolving the one who doubted, the one who apologized for existing. The new you is rising, clothed in boldness, carrying a light that terrifies darkness. You no longer need to fit in. You are meant to stand out. Do not fear the transformation. The same hands that broke your chains are now molding your crown. You are being rebuilt for glory, refined by fire, restored for purpose. The trembling in your heart is heaven's signature. The silence you feel is not absence, it's awe. Heaven is watching, waiting, whispering, still, be still, and know that I am God. And in that knowing, peace returns not as noise, but as presence. And in that presence, your soul exhales. The noise of fear fades, and only truth remains. You realize now you were never abandoned, only refined. Every silence was a setup for revelation. The storm didn't end you, it introduced you to the voice that calms it. The stillness after obedience feels different. It's not quiet like before, it's alive. You can sense something shifting within you, like the soil of your soul being turned over for new growth. The atmosphere has changed, and though you may not see it, heaven has already begun to move in response to your surrender. You are standing at the threshold of restoration. You have been torn, but not destroyed, broken, but not abandoned. Every scar you carry is evidence that mercy still found you. What was once a wound is now becoming a weapon of testimony. You will not just survive this season, you will rise from it with power. There are moments when God allows the breaking so that healing can begin in the right place. You tried to fix yourself by covering pain with distractions, but the Holy Spirit never gave up. The ache you feel isn't punishment. It's the sound of something sacred being rebuilt. The ancient cry recorded in the book of Hosea, chapter 6. Verse 1 declares, "Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces, but he will heal us. He has injured us, but he will bind up our wounds." Yes, this is what your spirit has been sensing. The tearing wasn't meant to end you, it was meant to awaken you. Every time you felt God's hand heavy upon you, it wasn't wrath. It was correction wrapped in compassion. The Father disciplines the ones he loves, and though it hurt, it was shaping you for glory. You've been asking, when will the healing come? It's already happening. Healing is not always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet strength that lets you breathe again after pain. It's the ability to smile without pretending, to hope without fear. The fact that you're still open to God proves that the wound didn't win. Look back at the times you almost gave up, the nights you sat in silence, tears soaking your pillow, wondering why heaven was silent. What you didn't see was that heaven was bending low, catching every tear. The potter was working even when the clay thought it was forgotten. You see, the crushing of your past wasn't rejection, it was creation. You were being shaped into a vessel that could carry more. You had to be emptied so you could be filled again with divine fire. And that's what's happening now. The breaking is becoming birthing. There is a sound in the spirit, faint but fierce, a sound of rebuilding. God is restoring everything that was scattered, gathering every piece of your faith that you thought was lost. The cracks in your heart are being filled with His glory. The same place where you were once bleeding will soon be the place others come to be healed. Don't fear the memory of pain. Even that is being redeemed. Your story will not end in sorrow but in strength. You will speak of this season one day and say, "It was necessary," because what felt like loss was actually God making room for increase. Heaven says, "Return to me," not because you ran too far, but because your heart wandered. And when you return, you'll realize He was never gone. The distance you felt was only the space between your will and His. Now, as you step closer, the veil lifts. The weight lifts. The light returns. The enemy tried to convince you that the damage was permanent. He lied. Restoration is your portion. The hand that tore now touches with tenderness. The voice that corrected now whispers comfort. You're walking into a new wholeness, one that's not the absence of pain, but the presence of purpose. This is your invitation to rise again. Not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to be. The wilderness season is closing. The dawn of redemption is breaking open. You can feel it, a warmth spreading through your chest, a peace that doesn't make sense but feels like home. God says, you are not disqualified. You are not too late. You are still mine. Let this be your declaration right now. In the comments, type "I return." It's not just words, it's a covenant. Each letter you write becomes an altar in the digital space, a public sign that you've chosen to walk back into alignment with heaven. Every "I return" echoes in eternity, marking your spirit as one who heard and obeyed. The angels record your response. The heavens rejoice. The restoration begins. When you type "I return," you're not just commenting, you're declaring that your spirit recognizes home again. You are answering heaven's whisper with obedience, and heaven records your yes. Each "I return" carries weight in the unseen realm. It is more than text, it is testimony. Every letter becomes a step toward healing. Every word a bridge back to divine alignment. Write it now, "I return." Let the world scroll, but let heaven witness your surrender. This single act separates watchers from warriors and turns conviction into covenant. The days following obedience feel strange. The world looks the same, but you know something within you has shifted. It's like waking up in a familiar room and realizing the light has changed the same walls, but a new awareness. The silence that once tormented you now feels sacred. You are learning to hear what cannot be spoken. There was a time when heaven's quiet made you question if you had been forgotten. You prayed and heard nothing, waited and saw no sign. But silence was never absence, it was instruction. The teacher does not speak during the test. He waits to see if you've learned the lesson. Every moment you endured without feedback was refining your faith. You're beginning to understand that divine communication isn't always sound, it's alignment. God has been speaking, not through words, but through shifts, closed doors, redirected paths, sudden peace in the middle of chaos. Every detour carried meaning. What you called delay, heaven called direction. There's beauty in this stage, though it's quiet. This is where trust is built, where roots go deep. You can't see growth under the soil, but it's happening. The darkness that once frightened you now feels like a cocoon, holy ground where transformation takes place unseen. You used to crave constant confirmation, but now you crave presence. You no longer beg for signs because you've learned that faith itself is the sign. You don't need thunder when you already recognize the whisper. Maturity in the Spirit isn't about louder voices, it's about deeper knowing. From the writings of David in the book of Psalms, chapter 32, verse 8. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. Those words rest like gentle fire in your chest. They remind you that even in stillness, heaven sees. God's eye is never distracted, never blinking. You may walk through uncertainty, but He never loses sight of you. His guidance isn't forced, it flows. He leads not by pushing from behind, but by drawing you forward with love. Sometimes guidance feels like loss. What you thought you needed slips away, and at first it feels cruel, but later, when you look back, you see it was mercy. God removed what you would have clung to out of fear. He replaced it with what could actually carry you into destiny. You may not realize it yet, but you're walking in the rhythm of divine timing. Things that once felt random now start connecting. Every no from heaven was saving you from something smaller than your purpose. Every wait was making room for what couldn't have arrived sooner. There's a quiet strength being built in you, a steadiness that doesn't depend on outcomes. You're learning that the point of faith isn't to get what you want, but to become who you're called to be. That's why heaven trusts you with silence. Only mature hearts can handle it without collapsing. This stage isn't punishment, it's preparation. You're being taught to discern the voice within, the one that echoes truth even when everything external contradicts it. God's guidance often begins as a nudge, a subtle unrest when you drift from alignment, a strange peace when you step toward destiny. You are learning that the path of the chosen isn't paved with clarity, it's paved with trust. And trust is born in the dark. That's where you find out whether you believe in God or merely in the comfort of knowing. Heaven whispers, walk, you ask. Where heaven replies, just walk. And so you do not because you see, but because you've decided that obedience is safer than understanding. When you choose to trust without proof, the atmosphere of your life changes. You start to see divine fingerprints in everything, in coincidences, in conversations, in timing. It's as if heaven begins to highlight the script of your destiny line by line. This is the reward of silence, clarity without words. You don't hear a voice, you become the echo of one. The presence of God begins to rest on you, not as an occasional feeling, but as a constant awareness. You stop searching for where He is and start realizing He never left. Let your soul rest in that truth. You are seen, you are taught. You are guided not through noise, but through nearness. The stillness is not empty, it's full of instruction. The same God who speaks through storms also speaks through still waters. You've heard Him in thunder, now learn to hear Him in peace. You are learning the rhythm of heaven movement wrapped in stillness. Every breath becomes prayer, every pause becomes prophecy. The world rushes, but you remain anchored, walking in step with divine timing. The silence that once felt like distance is now revelation. You no longer chase voices, you carry presence. In quiet obedience, you've discovered the secret. When you stop striving to hear God, you finally realize He's been speaking through peace all along. There comes a moment when heaven decides the waiting is over. The season of pause breaks open, and everything that once stood still begins to move again. You feel it, a current rising beneath your feet, subtle yet strong, like the first pull of a tide drawing you towards something vast. You've spent months surviving. Now the air tastes like release. The chains that held your destiny captive are beginning to crack. You've carried delays like invisible weights, promises postponed, dreams deferred, opportunities that always seem to arrive a second too late. But heaven never forgot. Every not yet was a divine postponement, not a denial. God was aligning what you couldn't see, timing, people, and purpose, so that when the release came, it would not slip through your hands again. The Lord has been saying, wait, not because I want to withhold, but because I am preparing you for the size of what's coming. And now, the preparation is complete. The door is creaking open, and your spirit knows it. What once resisted you begins to yield. The yoke of delay is breaking. Heaven's decree found in the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 13, declares, "Now I will break their yoke from your neck and tear your shackles away." That word was not written for history, it's alive in your story. The pressure you felt wasn't meant to crush you. It was meant to crack the ground beneath your feet so that new life could spring forth. You are stepping into acceleration. Things that once took years will now unfold in days. The divine calendar is shifting in your favor. But this breakthrough is not loud. It arrives like dawn, soft, radiant, unstoppable. It doesn't ask permission, it simply rises. You are being carried by a grace that works quietly but transforms completely. You'll look back and realize that the yoke didn't break suddenly, it dissolved gently under the weight of faith. You can sense the new rhythm already. Doors that once slammed shut now open without effort. Conversations shift from confusion to clarity. What drained you yesterday begins to bless you today. You are not the same person who waited. Waiting changed you. Waiting taught you how to move when heaven moves. Now, as this freedom unfolds, heaven asks you to walk gently with it. Don't rush the unveiling. Freedom is not an explosion. It's a song that plays softly in the soul. You must learn to listen. There is beauty in quiet liberation in realizing you no longer need to fight what God has already finished. You may feel a lightness you can't explain, a joy that sneaks up on you in ordinary moments. That's the sound of shackles falling in the spirit. You are walking lighter because what once clung to you has been burned away. The yoke is gone, and in its place, there is peace. This is the moment when you begin to dream again without fear of disappointment. The future no longer intimidates you, it invites you. The unknown feels less like a threat and more like an open sky. You're learning to breathe without bracing for pain. And as you stand in this freedom, something in you wants to share it, not out of duty, but out of overflow. You realize that light was never meant to stay hidden in one heart. It moves, it spreads, it finds other souls who are still waiting for dawn. So when you let your voice echo this message, when you light the flame, share the light, and subscribe to the river that carries truth forward, you are not performing an act of routine. You are planting seeds of sunrise in unseen soil. Every gesture becomes a whisper of agreement between your soul and heaven. Let light multiply. You don't force people to watch the sunrise, you simply open your window and let the light spill out. That's what this act means, a simple gesture, a silent agreement with heaven's rhythm. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe to this flow, it's not compliance, it's communion. It's how one flame finds another in the darkness. Some will scroll past, still tangled in their own delay, but others will feel the same stirring you felt. They will sense something holy pulling them toward hope again. And maybe, just maybe, your small act of faith will be the bridge that carries them there. Freedom, after all, is not fully realized until it's multiplied. Heaven doesn't just release individuals, it releases movements. And this, chosen one, is how it begins: one life awakened, one echo shared, one act of surrender rippling across countless unseen hearts. Let it flow naturally. Let your obedience be beautiful. Let your agreement with heaven's freedom travel wherever light dares to go. The yoke is broken. The delay has ended. The dawn has come and it carries your name. The dawn of freedom brings a new sound. It is not noise, but recognition. Heaven knows your name, and it has begun to call it aloud again. You've spent so long trying to prove your worth, trying to earn what was already yours. But now, heaven interrupts that striving with truth. You are mine. For years, you walked through seasons where your name was misused, forgotten, or silenced. People spoke of you in fragments, never seeing the fullness of who you were becoming. They saw your mistakes but not your mission, your struggle but not your sanctification. Yet God saw every detail. The same eyes that watched you fall also watched you rise. The same voice that spoke galaxies into motion has whispered your name with tenderness through every storm. You may have thought you were lost, but heaven never lost track of you. Even when you strayed, your name remained in his mouth. It was written in light before time began, sealed in promise before your first breath. You were never invisible. You were hidden for an appointed time. And now, the unveiling begins. The voice of the Lord resounds in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 1. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. That declaration is your identity. You are not defined by who left, what failed, or nor what broke. You are defined by the voice that calls you home. Every time he says your name, darkness loses its claim over you. You carry a name that hell cannot erase, a sound that echoes authority. This is why the battles have been so intense. The enemy wasn't after your possessions, he was after your name. He wanted to rewrite your story, to convince you that you were ordinary. But the mark of heaven cannot be edited. You were chosen, called, and claimed long before the conflict began. Listen closely. Heaven isn't calling your name for nostalgia, it's calling for activation. The moment you respond, the atmosphere around you changes. The chains of identity confusion, of shame and guilt, begin to fall. God doesn't call you to remind you of who you were. He calls you to reveal who you've become. You've spent too much time believing the labels others gave you. Too much, too quiet, too late. But heaven erases those lies. God's voice replaces every false word with truth. You are mine. Those 3 words carry the weight of eternity. They mean you are not drifting. You are destined. You are not an accident. You are an answer. Sometimes you wonder, why me? But heaven answers. Because I chose you to carry my sound into a world that's forgotten how to listen. You are not just called, you are commissioned. Wherever you walk, the atmosphere shifts. You are a carrier of his presence, and your obedience becomes a trumpet of awakening to those still asleep. You have been through fire, yet not consumed. You have been through waters, yet not drowned. Every trial that tried to rename you only revealed what was already written. Chosen, redeemed, anointed. The world will call you many things, but heaven will always call you by your true name. Do you feel that stirring deep within you? It's not emotion. It's recognition. Your spirit is hearing what your heart has longed for. It's the moment when a child recognizes the voice of the Father and says, "That's home." Right now, heaven leans closer, waiting for your response. You don't need to have perfect words or flawless prayers, just answer. The act of response is the bridge between revelation and manifestation. When you acknowledge the call, you align with divine identity. So, in this holy stillness, let your heart speak back. Let your spirit echo the truth that your soul already knows. Type 555 in the comments, not as a number, but as a sound of return. In heaven's language, it means grace multiplied, change initiated, identity reclaimed. When you write it, you're not typing digits, you're declaring, "I know who I am again." Let the world see your response and wonder why. Because numbers fade, but meaning remains. Every 5:55 becomes a signal in the spirit, a flare of faith rising against darkness. You're not following a trend, you're sealing a covenant. This is more than a comment. It's communion. It's the way a heart answers when heaven calls it by name. You are seen. You are known. You are His. When you type 5:55, you're not sending numbers into a void, you're answering heaven's roll call. Each 5 carries grace. Each repetition multiplies it. It's the sound of your spirit standing tall again, saying, I remember who I am, and I choose to walk in it. Every 5:55 written becomes light recorded in eternity's book. It tells heaven, I heard you. It tells darkness, you lost. It marks a return not to religion but to relationship, a moment where faith speaks louder than fear and identity silences every lie. When heaven calls your name, it is rarely followed by comfort. The moment God identifies you, the shaking begins. Everything false, everything built on fear, pride, or pretense starts to tremble. You might wonder if you did something wrong, but you didn't. The shaking is not punishment, it's purification. It's heaven making sure nothing counterfeit can travel with you into destiny. You've noticed it, doors you thought were secure suddenly close. Relationships shift, and patterns you relied on no longer work. It feels like instability, but it's actually mercy in motion. God will not let false foundations hold the weight of what He's about to release through you. When heaven begins to move, comfort becomes irrelevant. Truth becomes essential. You are standing in a divine earthquake. The ground that once felt safe now quivers underfoot. Yet in that trembling, something holy is happening. God is separating what is temporal from what is eternal. The shaking does not destroy what's real, it reveals it. It is written in the book of Haggai, chapter 2, verses 6 and 7. In a little while I will once more shake the heavens and the earth, the sea and the dry land. I will shake all nations, and what is desired by all nations will come, and I will fill this house with glory. That prophecy isn't ancient dust, it's alive right now. The shaking you feel inside, the confusion you see in the world, all of it points toward glory. Heaven is rearranging creation to prepare for manifestation. When God shakes the heavens and the earth, He's not breaking what's valuable. He's clearing away what hides it. Think of the shaking as an unveiling. Dust falls from forgotten dreams. Dead branches snap away so that new fruit can grow. Every trembling in your spirit means something false is losing its grip. The structures of pride, self-sufficiency, and fear are collapsing under the weight of truth. And though it feels like loss, it is actually liberation. You prayed for strength, and God answered by shaking what was weak. You prayed for purpose, and He began to dismantle distractions. Heaven's answers rarely look like what we imagine. They come disguised as disruption. But every divine disruption is a doorway. The shaking also exposes who stands with you. When the winds blow, those rooted in truth remain. Those attached by convenience drift away. Do not mourn what leaves during the shaking. The pruning is protection. God removes what cannot carry glory because He intends to pour more than you expect. In this season, you will see truth rise out of ruins. Hidden motives will surface, and illusions will crumble. The same shaking that frightened you will become the sound of your breakthrough. What once terrified you will now testify for you. Because when the shaking ends, what remains is unshakable. The earth shakes, but your purpose does not. People may shift, but your promise stands. Circumstances may change, but your calling is carved into eternity. Every tremor becomes a tool in God's hand to shape a stronger you. There is also a shaking happening within you, the heart's foundations trembling under conviction. That is not condemnation, it's realignment. God is clearing out rooms in your spirit that have been occupied by fear, doubt, and control. He's making space for the fullness of His presence. When the shaking stops, you'll realize He was never trying to take something from you. He was trying to make space for Himself in you. In the natural world, earthquakes split the ground, but they also expose hidden rivers. The same is true in the spirit. The shaking breaks open deep wells of wisdom, power, and faith that you didn't know existed within you. What once felt like breaking was actually birthing. Hold steady, don't run from the tremors, and the shaking is temporary. The glory that follows is eternal. After the dust settles, you'll stand in a new clarity. The noise of collapse will fade, and you'll hear the whisper of creation rejoicing around you. Everything that was unstable is giving way to something solid. Look closely, the light that filters through the cracks is different now. Softer, stronger, purer. You've changed, even if you can't see it yet. The shaking didn't destroy you, it delivered you. And soon you'll realize that what God shook loose was never meant to stay. When the trembling stops, lift your eyes. The landscape may look unfamiliar, but it's holy ground. The shaking was the sound of heaven rebuilding you from the inside out. You will no longer walk with fear of falling, because the shaking has proven what can't be moved: your faith, your purpose, your name. So stand still amid the aftershocks. Let peace settle like dust over new foundations. The storm has served its purpose. The false is gone, the true remains. And in the quiet that follows, you will hear it, glory filling the house once more. After the shaking comes the stillness that almost feels unreal. You look around at what remains and realize how much has changed, how much has been stripped away. Yet instead of emptiness, there is a deep clarity resting in the air. You can finally see what truly matters. The clutter of your life, the noise, the competition, the pretending has fallen silent. It's strange how mercy can look like loss. You thought the removal of certain people or opportunities meant something went wrong. But now you see that heaven was protecting you from what would have poisoned your purpose. God's mercy isn't always soft. Sometimes it steps back so truth can step forward. There comes a point when grace must move aside, allowing consequence to teach what comfort never could. This is what it means when heaven's kindness grows quiet, not because love has ended, but because love refuses to enable what destroys you. God is too good to let you remain in cycles that kill your joy. When He stops intervening, it's not because He's gone. It's because He's waiting for your heart to awaken. The apostle reminds us in the letter to the Romans, chapter 2, verse 4. Do you not realize that God's kindness is meant to lead you to repentance? That one sentence carries the weight of every warning heaven has ever given. It reveals that mercy was never a license to wander, it was a bridge to return. Every second you were allowed to breathe, to choose, to reflect, was an invitation to step back into alignment. Kindness is not weakness, it's opportunity. You've experienced this before, the gentle nudges that told you not that way. The discomfort that came when you tried to force what wasn't blessed. Those were not coincidences, they were divine signals. Mercy has a language, and it speaks through conviction. When you felt that tension in your chest after disobedience, that wasn't guilt trying to crush you, it was grace trying to catch you. But there comes a time when even mercy must step back, not as punishment, but as a pause. God loves you enough to let you feel the absence of His nearness when you keep running from His will. That holy silence is designed to bring you to your knees, not out of fear, but out of hunger. When the presence you once felt easily becomes distant, it awakens the cry inside you that says, I miss you. That's the sound heaven waits for. Not the perfect prayer or polished song, but the raw confession of a soul that finally realizes how empty life is without the divine. Repentance isn't shame, it's recognition. It's the moment when your heart turns toward light again, and you remember that love was waiting the whole time. In this stillness, God is not scolding you, He is searching you. The silence you feel is His way of clearing interference so you can finally hear your own heartbeat again, one that has always belonged to Him. Mercy steps back only to reveal where pride has built walls. When you see those walls for what they are, you're already halfway free. This is why conviction should never be feared. Conviction is a gift. It means your heart is still soft enough to feel. Those who no longer sense it are the ones in danger. Not you. The ache inside you proves that heaven hasn't let go. Mercy might be quiet, but it's still present, waiting for the next yes. So sit in this silence without panic. Let it search you. Ask yourself where you've mistaken delay for denial, or comfort for calling. The Spirit doesn't shout in this stage. He whispers through reflection. You'll notice it in moments when a verse crosses your path, when an old wound stirs, when peace suddenly interrupts your chaos. Those are not coincidences. Those are love notes written in invisible ink. When you finally respond, when you surrender again, mercy returns in full force. Not because God changed His mind, but because you changed your direction. The same presence that once withdrew rushes back like sunrise breaking through the last hour of night. The silence ends, replaced by the quiet hum of reconciliation. Mercy steps back. Yes, but only long enough for you to realize how desperately you need it. And when you turn, it meets you halfway, arms open, voice soft. You never left my sight. There's no condemnation here, only clarity. You see now that love isn't something you chase, it's something you remember. Mercy doesn't disappear. It waits in patience, ready to run the moment you look up. The quiet you feared has become your teacher. The space you mistook for rejection is now revelation. And you, once restless, have learned the beauty of returning. The silence no longer feels like distance, it feels like safety. You've learned that God's pauses are not punishment, but protection. Even when mercy steps back, love never leaves. It simply waits for your heart to find its way home again. The air feels heavier now, not with fear, but with decision. You can sense it, this is a crossroads moment. The shaking has done its work. The silence has spoken its lesson, and now heaven waits for what you will choose. Every path you've walked has led here. Every sign, every delay, every whisper, it all converges on this point of divine decision. You stand between two roads. One looks familiar, the safe, predictable path that demands nothing but costs everything. The other feels uncertain, but it burns with light. Heaven calls you toward that light, but it will not force you. God never drags souls into destiny, He invites them. You are free to stay or free to step into purpose. But know this, the choice you make in this moment echoes beyond time. The ancient covenant recorded in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19, proclaims, I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your descendants may live. That voice still speaks. It's not just scripture, it's a sound vibrating in eternity, waiting for your agreement. Heaven and earth are listening for your response. You've been given the power to choose between fading comfort and divine purpose. The Father's desire is clear, choose life, but He leaves the choosing to you. Maybe you've been standing at this crossroad longer than you admit. You've known what to do but feared the cost. The truth is, obedience will always cost something, but disobedience costs everything. Every time you postpone obedience, you trade eternal impact for temporary ease. And yet, even now, mercy keeps the door open. You may hear two voices fighting inside you, one whispering "not yet" and the other saying "now." One voice soothes your flesh. The other stirs your spirit. The difference between them is destiny. The first wants you comfortable, the second wants you complete. Heaven doesn't beg, it beckons. The pull of your purpose feels like tension because heaven refuses to let you settle. You can sense that the world behind you no longer fits. The things that once satisfied now feel hollow. It's not depression, it's divine discontent. God is making you too uncomfortable to stay where you are. Look around. Everything that is collapsing is an answer to the prayer you once prayed: God, use me. You asked for destiny, and this is what it looks like. The crossroads is not punishment, it's permission. You are being released into the next version of yourself. But you can't carry old patterns into new places. The fears that kept you safe before will chain you now. You will have to walk by faith, even when it costs familiarity. Every step forward means a death to something old lies, old cycles, old identities. But the death of the old you is the birth of the true you. This is why heaven feels so close it's watching. The angels record every decision, not to judge, but to mark the moment when destiny unfolds. The universe shifts when one soul chooses obedience, because obedience in its simplest form is love in motion. Your hesitation is human, but your calling is divine. You are not expected to move without trembling, you're expected to move while trembling. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the refusal to let fear be final. Every step you take in obedience sends ripples through generation. So breathe, look at both paths before you. Feel the weight of the moment, but don't let it crush you, let it clarify you. The path of life is rarely the easy one, but it is always the eternal one. When you walk toward light, the shadows behind you lose their power. Heaven will not move until you do, but when you do, heaven will move with you. The road of surrender is narrow, but it's lined with miracles waiting to unfold. Right here, right now, you decide who you will become. Not tomorrow, not someday. This moment holds the pen that writes your story forward. Heaven has already chosen you, but now, it waits to see if you will choose heaven back. In the comments, type "I choose." It's not an instruction. It's an affirmation. It's the whisper of a spirit stepping out of hesitation and into destiny. When you write it, it's not for others to see, it's for heaven to record. "I choose" becomes your signature on the covenant of obedience. Because the truth is this: every great move of God begins with 3 simple words: I choose now. When you type "I choose," it's not just a comment, it's a declaration written in light. It tells heaven that your will is awake again, that you've stepped out of indecision and into alignment. These 2 words open gates that silence once closed. Every "I choose" becomes a seed in the soil of destiny. It marks the moment when faith outweighs fear. Heaven leans close, recording your response, and whispers back, "Then let it begin." The covenant is sealed by your choice. When a person finally chooses, heaven responds. The atmosphere changes not with noise, but with movement. You can almost feel it now, like wind passing through unseen corridors. Every yes whispered on earth awakens something ancient above it. The decision to obey doesn't simply change you. It rewrites what the generations after you will inherit. This is where the curse ends. For too long, your bloodline has carried weights it was never meant to bear, cycles of fear, scarcity, and silence passed down like unwanted inheritance. You felt it in your bones. Those invisible burdens that made progress harder, peace rarer, joy fleeting. But heaven has drawn a line here. The breaking begins with you. We read in the letter to the Galatians, chapter 3, verse 13, Christ redeemed us from the curse by becoming a curse for us. That truth stands like fire over your name. It means the generational debts of shame, addiction, and self-sabotage have met their limit. What others tolerated, you will transform. What defeated them will bow to you. You are not fighting for victory, you are enforcing it. The blood of redemption speaks louder than every shadow of the past. But don't mistake this for triumph born of effort. It is grace pure, unearned, radiant grace that turns your why me into thank you. The breaking of the curse doesn't roar. It breathes. It feels like peace returning to rooms inside you that were once filled with noise. It feels like finally exhaling after years of holding your breath. And now, as this freedom unfolds, you begin to notice how light travels differently through you. What once felt heavy begins to move with ease. You no longer carry the story of what your family lost. You carry the prophecy of what they couldn't finish. You are the continuation, not the consequence. The curse ends where obedience begins. Every act of surrender is a seed planted in new soil. Where bitterness grew, forgiveness now blossoms. Where silence reigned, your voice becomes prayer. This is redemption at work, not a spectacle, but a quiet revolution of the heart. And maybe, just maybe, this is why you were born to be the interruption in the cycle, the one who decided it would not go further. The moment you said yes, chains that existed before your birth began to snap in the spirit. Your obedience has done what years of striving could not. It has shifted the entire lineage forward. The light that now moves through you doesn't end with you. It seeks other hearts to ignite. Truth, after all, was never meant to stay contained. It travels through stories, through compassion, through small acts of courage. It passes from heart to heart like fire catching on dry branches until the forest itself begins to glow. That's what this moment is, a spark, a transmission of light. When you allow what you've heard to move through you, to echo, to reach, to awaken, it's no longer just about listening. It's about participating. You are helping heaven build bridges of understanding in a world that's forgotten how to feel. So let your yes breathe outward. When you like, it's like opening a window for light to enter another room. When you share, it's like handing someone a torch in their darkest night. And when you subscribe, it's like building a small altar in your heart, a place where future words of truth can find you again. These are not commands. They are invitations, gentle ways to keep the river flowing. Each act, no matter how simple, becomes part of the testimony heaven is writing through you. This isn't about algorithms or approval, it's about agreement. You're not performing, you're partnering, and you're saying, "Let this light live beyond me." And as you do, heaven watches not with judgment, but with joy. Because every echo of truth expands its reach, and every gesture of agreement becomes a seed for someone else's awakening. That is how curses end, not with shouting, but with shared light. So move softly but surely. Let your obedience ripple outward, touching places you'll never see, healing hearts you'll never meet. That's how heaven works quietly, beautifully, endlessly. The breaking is done, the blessing begins. What once bound you now bows before you. The curse ends here, and from this moment on, your name carries freedom in its sound. Light the next flame. Let truth travel. Let your yes keep echoing. When you lift your hand to touch this light, even through a screen, heaven feels it. The smallest motion becomes worship. The quiet agreement becomes thunder in unseen realms of glory. Every whisper of truth you pass forward carries redemption's fragrance. Somewhere, someone will breathe again because your obedience reached them. Light multiplies not through fame, but through faith shared gently. Let this be your sacred rhythm. Receive, reflect, release. What flows through you purifies you. What you give away grows stronger. This is how heaven travels through willing hearts like yours. There is a kind of silence that follows deliverance, a quiet that doesn't feel empty but charged. Like the air after lightning. You can sense it now. That holy stillness that means power has returned. It is not loud or dramatic. It moves softly, like breath over the water. Heaven restores what the battle tried to take. For too long, you've lived in survival mode, breathing but not alive, functioning but not fulfilled. You did what you had to do, held yourself together when everything around you crumbled. But now, God is breathing strength back into the parts of you that went numb in the storm. This is not the same power you once knew, it's deeper, wiser, gentler. The prophet's defiance in the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 8 declares, "Though I have fallen, I will rise. Though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light." Those words could be your own. You've fallen before, not once, but many times. Yet every time you rose, something in you changed. The fall no longer defines you. The rising does. You've learned that failure is not the opposite of faith, it's the classroom of faith. Every stumble became an altar, every scar a doorway to strength. Now, the same hands that held you in breaking are releasing power into your being. Not the kind of power that conquers others, but the kind that conquers fear. Power that does not boast, but blesses. Power that rebuilds what pain tore down. It's the return of your voice, your confidence, your peace. You may not notice it at first. Power rarely announces itself with noise. It begins in the quiet conviction that you will not go back to what once broke you. It appears in the way you speak with calm when chaos surrounds you. It lives in the way you choose hope when despair seems logical. That's the strength. Heaven trusts you with, the kind that sustains, not just shines. You're walking in a restoration that is both visible and invisible. On the surface, people will see stability returning to your life, doors opening, opportunities reappearing. But beneath that, something far greater is happening. Your inner world is being rebuilt. You're no longer reacting to darkness, you're radiating light in it. You are being reminded that true power is not control, it's clarity. The moment you stop striving to prove yourself is the moment you begin to walk in authority. You don't need to fight for every inch anymore. Some battles end simply because you remember who you are. This power doesn't shout, it steadies. It sits quietly in your chest, reminding you that you've already survived worse, that you're not a victim of circumstance, but a vessel of glory. Heaven didn't just give your strength back, it upgraded it. Now your peace is stronger than your panic, your faith louder than your fear. You've become dangerous to darkness again, not because you're angry, but because you're at peace. Nothing terrifies hell more than a soul that refuses to panic. Your stability shakes the enemy. Your silence confuses him. Your resilience breaks the patterns he built to keep you weak. But remember this, the return of power is not permission to dominate, it's an invitation to serve. God doesn't restore power so you can rise above others. He restores it so you can lift others. The anointing that rests on you now is not for platform, it's for purpose. You've been given strength to heal what you once survived. You'll begin to notice it in conversations, a calm authority when you speak truth, a weight in your words that didn't exist before. People won't know why they listen, but they will. The reason is simple, your power carries presence. Heaven speaks through your tone now, through your stillness, through the way you look at broken people and see beauty instead of blame. That is divine restoration when power returns but pride doesn't. when confidence grows without arrogance, when victory no longer needs applause. You have reached a maturity that doesn't need validation to know it's chosen. The enemy may still whisper that you're unqualified, but you've outgrown those accusations. You've seen too much grace to believe those lies again. Every attempt to pull you backward now only proves how far forward you've gone. The light that fills you is not borrowed, it's reborn. You don't have to chase after anointing anymore. You've become its home. The presence of God doesn't visit you occasionally, it dwells in you daily. And wherever you go, the atmosphere bends around that truth. The return of power doesn't look like spectacle. It looks like peace that cannot be shaken. It looks like wisdom that speaks softly but shifts rooms. It looks like compassion that turns pain into prayer. You don't have to prove it. You just have to carry it. Walk slowly now. The world will feel lighter under your feet. You'll speak, and doors will open not because of who hears you, but because of who sent you. That is the quiet glory of restoration. You are not merely surviving, you are reigning, not on thrones built by men, but on promises forged by heaven. You are power reborn, grace embodied, peace restored, and all creation exhales with you, whispering, finally, they rise. Across the earth, hearts like yours are waking. You may feel alone at times, walking through invisible wars. But heaven wants you to know you are part of something vast. A remnant is rising, scattered across nations yet united in one spirit. Each carries a light that no darkness can quench. You are one of them. This movement is not built on noise or fame. It is built on obedience. These are the ones who have endured the refining, who have chosen purpose over comfort. They move quietly but carry the weight of glory. Their names are not written in headlines but in heaven. When they speak, hell trembles not because of volume, but because of authority. You have felt the stirring in your chest, the strange recognition when you hear truth that sounds like home. That's how you know you belong to the remnant. You're not drawn by emotion, you're drawn by assignment. Something inside you knows that the world is shifting and that heaven is gathering its voices. Heaven's promise through the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 9, declares, "Then I will purify the lips of the peoples, that all of them may call on the name of the Lord and serve him shoulder to shoulder." This is that time. The purification has already begun. God is cleansing language, purifying motives, aligning hearts. The ones who used to fight alone will soon recognize each other not by outward signs but by spiritual frequency. You will know them the way a flame knows another flame instantly without introduction. The remnant is being gathered for impact. You may think your voice is small, but in the spirit, it's thunder. Every prayer you whisper, every act of obedience, adds to the sound that is awakening the earth. It's a symphony of surrender, millions of hearts beating in unison with heaven's rhythm. You were never meant to stand apart forever. The isolation was temporary, a wilderness meant to teach you how to hear without the crowd. Now that you've learned the sound of his voice, you are being reconnected. The scattered are becoming a body again, each unique, yet one in purpose. Some of the ones who walk beside you will not look like you, think like you, or come from where you come from, but they will carry the same fire. Unity in the spirit is not uniformity, it's harmony. Different tones, same truth. You'll begin to sense it when you meet them, an immediate recognition that says, "We've been through the same fire." The gathering won't happen through noise, but through resonance. Heaven is orchestrating divine appointments, moments where paths cross not by accident but by assignment. You'll find yourself surrounded by those who push you toward holiness, not popularity. Those who remind you of who you are when you forget. This is what revival looks like before the world names it. It doesn't start with crowds. It starts with connection. One heart igniting another until the flame spreads from city to city, nation to nation. The remnant is rising, and the light is spreading faster than darkness can comprehend. But to carry this light, you must protect your purity. Stay humble. Stay listening. The remnant is not called to boast, they are called to bear, to carry the weight of glory without letting pride pollute it. Your secret place remains your strength. Don't trade it for applause. And now, heaven asks you to identify yourself not with pride, but with purpose, to mark this moment as the instant you said, "Yes, I am part of this." In the comments, type 44444. It is more than a number, it is a symbol of divine alignment, the gathering of chosen hearts. It means heaven's order is being restored, that your voice has found its place in the chorus of purpose. Every 4444 you write becomes a sound wave in the spirit, joining with countless others across the earth. It's a call to unity, a visible sign that the scattered are being gathered, the weary are being strengthened, and the chosen are standing shoulder to shoulder once more. You are not a lone flame anymore. You are part of the fire. When you type 4444, it isn't just a number, it's a signal, and it says, "I'm awake, I'm aligned, I'm part of the call." Heaven recognizes that sequence as agreement, a visible signature of unity in motion. Each 444 is like the sound of footsteps echoing through eternity, proof that you are walking in step with something bigger than yourself. It tells the unseen world that you found your tribe not by location, but by revelation. The moment you write it, light ripples outward, connecting with other chosen hearts across the earth. This is not performance, it's prophecy. 4444 marks the rhythm of divine order, 4 winds, 4 corners, 4 foundations, heaven's symmetry restoring what chaos broke. When you type it, you are joining the song of the remnant, a whisper that says, "Here I am, still burning, still chosen, still part of the fire." The light that gathers in unity always draws opposition. When the remnant rises, darkness takes notice. This is not superstition, it is spiritual law. Every time light advances, shadow resists. Yet this resistance is proof that the shift is real. If the enemy is stirring, it's only because heaven is moving. You've already felt it, the sudden pressure, the quiet attacks, the inexplicable weariness that tries to settle over your soul. When you begin to pray or create or obey, these are not coincidences, they are counterattacks. The closer you move toward purpose, the more darkness tests your resolve. But here is the truth. The presence of warfare is not a sign that you're losing. It's confirmation that you're threatening hell's hold. It is written in the letter to the Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, authorities, and powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." You are not fighting people. You are confronting principalities. This is why certain conflicts feel deeper than emotion. They are not rooted in the natural, they are echoes of an ancient battle. But unlike those before you, you are not fighting for victory, you are fighting from it. The cross has already secured what you are now enforcing. The enemy's tactics have always been the same: distraction, deception, and discouragement. He cannot destroy destiny, so he attempts to drain it. He whispers that you are tired, that your effort doesn't matter, that you've already failed. His weapon is exhaustion disguised as logic. If he can make you question your impact, he can delay your obedience. But you have learned too much to fall for that now. You know that even when your voice shakes, your presence still carries power. You understand that light doesn't have to shout, it just has to show up. The enemy's greatest fear is not your noise, it's your consistency. Because when you refuse to quit, hell loses leverage. This is spiritual warfare, not rage, but resilience. It's the quiet strength to keep praying when nothing changes. It's worship that refuses to depend on outcomes. It's love that blesses the ones who curse you. These are the weapons that dismantle darkness. Not swords, but surrender. Not arguments, but authority. Your authority doesn't come from shouting at demons, it comes from standing in truth. When you stand where God placed you, every lesser power has to bow. The enemy can only occupy ground you abandon. So do not give up territory, whether it's peace in your mind, purity in your heart, or purpose in your calling. Keep your ground. There will be moments when the battle feels invisible, when nothing makes sense, when prayers echo like they hit a wall. But even then, the unseen is shifting. Angels are moving, assignments are breaking. Your prayers are not bouncing, they are building. Every whispered "help me" has already reached the throne. You are not defenseless. You carry armor that never rusts, truth around your waist, righteousness guarding your chest, peace guiding your steps, faith like a shield, salvation as your crown, and the word of God like a double-edged sword. These are not metaphors, they are realities stitched into your spirit. When you remember who you are, the enemy remembers who he isn't. So do not curse the conflict, let it clarify you. Warfare reveals what matters most. You never fight for what is worthless. The battle proves value. The fact that darkness still tries to disrupt you means heaven still intends to use you. You will emerge from this not drained, but dangerous to hell. Every hit you've endured has taught you how to wield truth with precision. Every night of prayer, every tear shed in silence, has become oil for your next assignment. You are not a casualty. You are a carrier. And soon, you'll notice something remarkable. The fear that once chased you begins to run from you. The same forces that tried to silence you will start retreating at the sound of your peace. Because peace, when it stands firm, is the loudest threat to hell. The war doesn't end today, but the tide turns. You've been strengthened for this moment. You've been trained in fire for this fight. And now, as you stand in the quiet aftermath of another victory, you realize something sacred. Darkness only ever attacked what carried light. And you, chosen one, have become the kind of light darkness cannot comprehend. You no longer tremble at the mention of warfare. You understand its rhythm. Every strike is permission to shine brighter. Every storm a stage for faith to stand taller. You have learned endurance. The darkness that once intimidated you now teaches you to listen. It reveals how easily truth exposes lies. Every attack that once felt personal now feels prophetic proof that purpose is near. And when the dust settles, you smile not in pride, but in peace. Because you finally know light was never fragile. It was forged to fight. After the battle, something shifts. The noise that once filled your mind quiets. And in the silence that follows, you sense presence pure, unfiltered, radiant. It doesn't rush toward you, it settles around you like morning light through open windows. This is not adrenaline, this is glory. You've crossed from striving into stillness, from resistance into rest. The air feels different now, heavier with holiness. The apostle declares in his second letter to the Corinthians on Punto Bokum, chapter 3, verse 18. We all, with unveiled faces, contemplate the Lord's glory and are being transformed into his image with ever-increasing glory, which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit. That's what this moment is, a transformation too deep for language. You've been through fire, through shaking, through silence, and now heaven unveils what all of it was for. You were never being punished. You were being polished. Every loss stripped away something that hid the reflection of God within you. Now, in the aftermath of surrender, the reflection shines unhindered. Glory doesn't appear like lightning. It unfolds like sunrise. At first, faint, then steady, then consuming. It's not performance, it's presence. It doesn't require effort, it simply requires you to remain open. You don't chase it, you become it. The more you yield, the more it fills you, until you realize you've stopped asking for God to visit, you've become the place He dwells. There's a difference between feeling God and carrying Him. The first is temporary comfort, the second is transformation. When glory rests upon you, it changes how you see everything. Pain doesn't disappear, but it loses power. Fear still knocks, but it no longer enters. You stop reacting and start radiating. You become a mirror of mercy, a vessel of peace. This is the mantle of glory, not a robe for pride, but a covering for purpose. It wraps around you quietly, marking you as one who has wrestled and refused to let go. The mantle doesn't shout, it shines. Those who carry it walk differently, not above others, but among them, with gentleness and gravity. They know what it costs to hold light in a dark world. The beauty of this transformation is that it's continual, ever-increasing glory, Paul said, meaning there's no ceiling. Every time you bow, you rise brighter. Every act of humility opens another layer of radiance. You are being changed from the inside out, glory upon glory, like waves touching shorelines without end. There are still ordinary moments, grocery lines, traffic lights, quiet mornings, but they no longer feel ordinary. You sense holiness in simplicity now. Even silence hums with presence. You look at people differently too. Once you judged their scars, now you see their battles. Once you resented delay, now you recognize divine timing. Glory changes perception before it changes circumstance. And though this radiance rests on you, it doesn't make you untouchable, it makes you more reachable. Those around you will feel peace without knowing why. They'll hear gentleness in your tone and see steadiness in your eyes. What you've endured has given you authority without arrogance. You don't preach transformation, you embody it. Glory doesn't isolate, it integrates. It sends you back into the world, not as one who escaped it, but as one who carries heaven into it. You become the bridge between chaos and calm, between confusion and clarity. Wherever you go, environments shift, not because of what you say, but because of what you carry. But remember, this sacred truth: glory is weight before it is wonder. It grounds you before it gleams through you. If you ever feel its heaviness, don't resist it. The weight is what keeps you humble. The moment you start thinking it belongs to you, it lifts. Glory only rests where pride cannot. So walk lightly, but walk aware. Every breath is a communion now, every moment an altar. The world around you may not see the crown, but heaven sees the glow. You've been clothed in purpose, wrapped in presence, anointed to shine without striving. This is not the end of your journey. It's the unveiling of your identity. You were born to carry this light, not to boast in it, but to bear it for families, for nations, for generations yet to come. And as you move forward, remember, the greater the surrender, the brighter the reflection. Glory doesn't fade for those who keep yielding. You are no longer a seeker, you are a sanctuary. The fire has finished its work. The mirror has cleared. And now, heaven looks at you and sees itself. The glow within you is not fleeting, it's the steady fire of revelation. It burns without consuming, lighting your path one quiet step at a time. You no longer chase moments, you live in meaning. Heaven's reflection on your life becomes its own testimony. You don't need to explain what changed. The peace in your presence speaks it. Glory has found a home, and it breathes through you with every gentle word, every steady breath, every act of love. The light has settled on you, not as a passing moment, but as a mantle. You can feel it, how stillness now carries strength, how peace feels like power. You no longer rush to prove anything. The fire that once tested you now lives within you. You've endured the breaking, survived the shaking, embraced the silence, and now heaven stands before you with one final command: stand. The command to stand is not a call to noise or battle, it's a call to presence. To stand means to remain when others retreat, to hold ground when winds rise, to be rooted while the world trembles. The command is simple but sacred: do not bend where truth has placed you. This is not arrogance, it's alignment. The command given to Joshua chapter 1 verse 9 still echoes. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. That word is alive in you now. The same courage that strengthened Joshua strengthens you. The same promise that carried him across rivers and into battles whispers through your heart: you are not alone. The spirit that stood beside the ancient ones now surrounds you. You walk with the presence of eternity at your back. To stand in this hour means more than endurance, it means visibility. The world is hungry for stability, and your steadfastness becomes a signal. You may not realize it, but your refusal to bow to despair, your quiet consistency, your kindness under pressure, all of it speaks louder than sermons. You are not shouting truth, you are becoming it, but even truth needs to travel. Light cannot stay confined within one vessel. It seeks others, like rivers finding the sea. This moment, this message, this transformation was never meant to end with you. It's meant to move through you. When you let your gratitude breathe outward, when you like these words, it's like lifting a lantern into the night. When you share, it's as though you place that lantern in another's hand, guiding them through their own valley. And when you subscribe, it's not an act of routine, it's a promise to keep walking with light until dawn breaks in every heart. These gestures aren't transactions, they're translations. They take the language of your soul and turn it into something others can feel. A simple tap, a single click, can become a silent whisper of solidarity. We are standing together. There's something sacred about quiet participation. It's not loud or forced. It's effortless, like breathing. You give what you've received and trust that it will find who it's meant for. That's how heaven multiplies light through small, intentional echoes. So let it move through you naturally. Let your reflection ripple outward. Every word you share, every small act of agreement, becomes another stone laid in the path for someone else's return. You never know who might stumble upon this same light in their darkest hour. The world doesn't need another voice shouting for attention. It needs examples of endurance, people who stand with peace while chaos rages, who carry hope like a steady flame. When you stand, you remind others that faith still holds ground, and when they see your light, they'll remember their own. Standing doesn't mean never bending, it means returning to center every time you're pulled away. It means choosing love when bitterness feels justified, choosing patience when exhaustion whispers surrender. To stand is to trust that even unseen roots hold power. And as you stand, know that heaven watches with joy. Every act of courage, every choice to remain when others run, becomes a fragrance rising to the throne. You are not invisible. You are the evidence of endurance. When you respond, when you like, when you share, when you comment, I stand. You're not performing. You're proclaiming. You're saying, my flame still burns. And when you subscribe, It's like stepping into the circle of firelight with others who've made the same vow we stand. We endure, we shine. These acts are not obligation, they're celebration. The light you release becomes a thread connecting countless souls across the world. It reminds heaven that the chosen still hold the line, that faith still walks the earth wrapped in human skin. So let the light travel. Let your standing be seen, not as pride, but as prophecy. The world may shake again, but those who stand in truth will never fall. You've carried your cross, walked through the shadows, and now you carry fire. You are not alone in this flame. Every echo of truth, every shared spark, every whispered "I stand" joins heaven's chorus of resilience. Together, you form a constellation across the earth, individual lights, one unbroken glow. So stand, and let your light speak. Heaven is proud of you, and as your light joins the countless others, the night softens. What was once scattered becomes whole again. Every flicker finds its rhythm, and together, you illuminate the path for generations yet unseen. There is a hush over your soul now, the kind that feels sacred, like the pause between the last note of a song and the first echo that follows. Heaven is close, closer than it has ever been. You can almost feel eternity breathing on your skin. This is the moment before the final invitation, the whisper that separates routine from revelation. The world around you still rushes. People chase noise, comfort, and endless motion. Yet something in you knows you've stepped into another rhythm, the rhythm of surrender. You no longer move out of fear or strive for proof. Every breath you take feels intentional, woven with the awareness that your life has become an altar. In this silence, heaven's voice is tender but firm. There is one last call. Not a command, not a threat, but an offering. Grace stands at the threshold again, holding out its hand, waiting for those who still wander in halfway faith to finally cross over. The final invitation in the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 17, calls out. The Spirit and the bride say, "Come," and let the one who hears say, "Come, let the one who is thirsty come, and let the one who wishes take the free gift of the water of life." Those words carry both urgency and affection. They are not shouted, they are sung. They carry the rhythm of eternity's heartbeat, pulsing through every generation, waiting for one response. Come. This is heaven's last message before the curtain of time closes. Not another chance to delay, but a final moment to decide. The Spirit is still calling. The bride, the collective body of believers, is still echoing that call. And in the spaces between those echoes, your heart hears it. You know it's for you. Maybe you've lived with one foot in and one foot out, close enough to feel conviction, but distant enough to avoid transformation. Maybe you've promised yourself that you'll return someday, when life settles, when pain fades, when you feel ready or not. But readiness is not a feeling, it's a choice. The invitation doesn't wait for perfect timing, it creates it. The Spirit whispers again, "Come." It's not saying, "Change first." It's saying, "Come as you are. Bring your weariness, your doubts, your bruised faith." Heaven has never asked you to arrive clean. It asks you to arrive honest. The water of life is free because it's meant for the thirsty. Those who pretend to have enough will never taste it. But those who admit their need will never thirst again. You've been running for so long that you've mistaken exhaustion for endurance. But God's voice doesn't chase, it waits. It doesn't plead, it invites. And this is the last gentle moment before mercy becomes memory. The door that has stood open since the beginning of your journey is still there, but it will not remain open forever. The invitation is not about fear. It's about fulfillment. It's the call to finally become what heaven wrote about you before you were born. Every wound you carry, every unanswered prayer, every ache in your chest, all of it has been leading to this moment of decision. You've seen what the world offers, temporary satisfaction that fades before the morning. You've tried to fill the void with success, relationships, distractions. But nothing quenched it because it was never thirst of the body, it was thirst of the soul. The invitation remains the same. Come and drink freely. This is not the end of your story. It's the end of delay. The invitation is not a demand, it's a doorway. When you step through, you won't lose yourself. You'll find who you were always meant to be. The final call of heaven is not a sound you hear with ears. It's a stirring you feel in your spirit. It's the knowing that there's no going back to how things were. The veil has lifted, and truth stands before you, patient but resolute. You don't have to understand everything to walk through. You don't have to fix what's broken to return home. All you have to do is respond. The word come is simple, but it holds the entire weight of redemption. And so the invitation lingers once more, soft, persistent, beautiful. The Spirit still says, come. The bride still whispers, come. Heaven still waits, arms open, eyes kind, heart burning with love that has never changed. If you listen closely, you'll realize that eternity is calling your name, not in accusation, but in affection. It's not too late to answer it. It's not too far to return. The door has not closed yet. Step forward, chosen one. The last call of heaven is not about ending, it's about entering. The air around you hums with eternity's breath. You can feel the pull not away from life, but into it fully. This is the crossing, the return, the homecoming your soul always knew was waiting. Step through. The light is open. You've crossed the threshold now. The door behind you is closed softly, not in rejection of what was, but in completion of what needed to be. Everything ahead feels lighter, clearer, quieter. There's no rush here, no striving, only being. The noise of old battles has faded, replaced by a stillness that feels alive. You've entered the space where heaven and earth seem to overlap, where every breath feels sacred. This is what it means to live awakened. It's not perfection, it's awareness. You begin to see God not only in miracles, but in moments, the way light falls through trees, the sound of laughter, the warmth of ordinary grace. The divine has become inseparable from the daily, and the line between prayer and life has blurred into one seamless rhythm. You thought awakening would feel loud and triumphant, but it feels peaceful instead. There's no need to prove faith anymore. You don't need to justify your existence or earn approval. You know you are loved, not someday, not when you're better, but now. Love is not a concept anymore, it's oxygen. It is written in the first letter of John chapter 4, verse 16. And so we know and rely on the love God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in them. That truth isn't just words, it's experience. You've lived enough darkness to know what light feels like. You've wrestled with silence long enough to recognize the sound of peace. The awakening isn't about escaping humanity. It's about rediscovering divinity within it. Every act of love, every moment of compassion, every breath of forgiveness, that's God moving through you. You begin to understand that holiness isn't separation, it's integration. It's when heaven begins to inhabit your humanity fully. You can be both fragile and favored, both healing and whole. You can grieve and still glow. Grace doesn't erase your scars, it redeems them. Each one becomes a doorway through which glory flows quietly into the world. You no longer ask for signs because you've become one. The peace you carry in chaos, the gentleness that refuses to die, the forgiveness that seems impossible. Those are the miracles now. People will look at your calm and not understand it, but they will feel it. They won't need your explanation, they'll sense your essence. You've become a reflection of the one who called you. This awakening also brings clarity about purpose. You realize that calling was never about titles or visibility, it was about transformation. You weren't chosen to perform. You were chosen to embody light where others only saw shadows. Destiny isn't a destination, it's a way of being. Every word you speak in truth, every gesture of mercy, every silent prayer for another soul becomes an act of creation. You are building eternity with every breath. There is freedom here, the kind that can't be taken away. It's not loud, but it's lasting. You are no longer defined by outcomes. Whether the world applauds or ignores you, your peace remains unmoved. You are anchored in something eternal, something that storms cannot shake. You've found the center, and it has found you. This doesn't mean life will be easy, but it will be meaningful. You'll still face challenges, but they won't define you anymore. You'll face sorrow, but it won't consume you. Even in loss, you will find love waiting. Even in endings, you will feel beginnings whisper. The rhythm of grace will carry you, steady and sure. When you speak now, your words won't just fill space, they'll plant seeds. People may not remember everything you say, but they will remember how they felt near you, safe, seen, stirred toward hope. You've become a living message, a continuation of divine kindness. Heaven hasn't made you untouchable, it has made you available. You are no longer just a receiver of miracles, you are a vessel for them. Wherever you walk, peace follows. Wherever you rest, presence lingers. You are not simply carrying light, you are light. And as this revelation deepens, you begin to understand that this was never just your story. It was heaven's story told through your scars. God's melody played through your heartbeat. You were never just surviving, you were being written. Every chapter mattered, every tear was ink. The journey is not over, it's unfolding. But now, you walk it differently. You no longer rush, you flow. You no longer fear, you trust. You no longer strive to be chosen. You live as one who already is. The world will keep turning, but you will move through it with quiet certainty that love wins, that light remains, that eternity is closer than breath. You are awake, alive, anointed, and for the first time, completely at peace. The horizon before you glows softly, no urgency, no fear, only promise. You walk toward it, not to escape, but to expand. Every step feels like worship, every breath like prayer. Heaven moves as you move. You've reached the end. Though it doesn't feel like one, it feels like an awakening that refuses to close. The story was never meant to end here, because what began as a message has now become movement. Heaven didn't write these words for entertainment. It wrote them to awaken something eternal within you. And now, that spark rests in your hands. You hold light, real, living light. It's not fragile, it's meant to be shared. The same truth that broke your silence and strengthened your spirit can now move through you to reach others. There are souls who stand where you once stood, questioning, weary, waiting for confirmation that they still matter. You are that confirmation now. When you like these words, it's as if you breathe on a small ember until it glows again. When you share, you extend a hand to another wanderer and whisper, "You're not alone." When you comment, whether a word, a number, or even silence wrapped in gratitude, you add your echo to heaven's rhythm. And when you subscribe, It's not about joining a channel, it's about joining a current of truth that continues to flow long after this moment ends. These small gestures are not obligations, they're offerings. They remind heaven that the flame still lives on earth. Every act of engagement becomes a ripple, every echo a testimony. You never know which broken heart your act of light might reach, or which tired soul might find strength through your simple yes. So, let your response be an act of love, not because you must, but because you can. Let your agreement with this message become a gentle thread connecting you to a greater movement of awakening. And as you go, remember the story doesn't end when the words stop. It continues through you, through the way you live, love, forgive, and shine. You are not just the listener anymore. You are the living message. Like, share, comment, subscribe, not as routine, but as remembrance of the fire that found you and the light you now carry forward.